that at the November meeting, we had a date yet.
In my mind, I was thinking December.
Yeah. And we put out dates for both November and December, and there were more that could come on that day, so.
Made it, maybe in a pair of these high. So. And I may end up saying that and watching our grandson now, well, grandchildren, parents and years ago. And anyway, it's been a long, but he's step. So, yeah, took him to school, called down, that's came down.
I've been past these ones, so I'm probably able to do some way you just couldn't wait. I like that.
We good?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome everybody to the Pleasant View Planning Commission meeting. This is Thursday, December 4th, 2025. It's now 6 o'clock, so we will go ahead and start. I will go ahead and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer, reading, or expression of thought. Will all of you please join me and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our dear, kind, gracious Heavenly Father, we're thankful to thee this evening for the opportunity to come to represent the citizens of Pleasant View. We're thankful for this wonderful community that we are able to live in, this beautiful valley that we're able to be. We ask this time to bless us that we will do thy work for the citizens and choose the things that will help us progress. We ask you to bless the military, the service staff, and the police and fire that so much protect us in this country and in this city. Bless and watch over them and protect them at all times. Be with us this night, and since we humbly ask them in Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, we have an agenda sent out to the commission, has been published for tonight. Do we have any declaration of conflicts of interest for the agenda for tonight? Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead and move to the administrative items. Our first item is item 2A, a vacation of public utility easement. Consideration to vacate a public utility easement at 1327 West Fallow Way within the Deer Crest subdivision phase 4. We'll go ahead and turn some time over to Tammy. I believe this is an item that we tabled last hearing.
This is actually a different one.
Oh, this is a different one. Okay.
We've had
We have a couple of them,
several
huh?
of them
Okay.
lately. So yeah, this one at 1327 West Fallow Way. It's similar to the others that we've done
That's right. Okay.
in the same area as well. So the Gibbons are the property owners, and we were contacted by the builders, and they've worked with Dana, our engineer, to kind of work out the best way to go about doing these retaining walls. And they have gone through and obtained all of the required utility releases, which is no easy task sometimes, but they've gotten everything that they've needed, and with the Public Works approval and everything, our recommendation is to approve vacating the easement.
Okay, just for a quick note, because I misunderstood, because that is on that same area, but are we going to see the other one quick, or we're still waiting until they get all the paperwork?
We are.
And it has no bearing on tonight, but I'm
Actually,
just
that one
curious.
was approved with them getting the
The
final letters. They did
condition-
get
okay,
them.
that's
It was
right.
recorded with
Thank
the
you.
county.
I knew there was something on there. Okay, are there any questions from the commission to staff on the report that's presented? Okay, do we have any, do we have the builders or someone representing the property owners tonight that would like to come state your name for the record and address.
So I'm Justin Stewart, owner of Northern Builders. We were hired by Jay and Marilyn Gibbons to build this home. We worked with Tammy and her staff, Dana, as well as Tyler with Beacon Inspections. She's presented everything we need. We just need these to be signed off on by you all so we can finish this project. So if you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them specifically, but I think it's pretty straightforward. It's not the first one you've seen or heard of, so I don't wanna bore you.
Nor will it.
Be a little
No,
while.
it's your last, so anything I can do to, answer.
Questions
whatever.
from the commission for the petitioner?
I got nothing.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a proposal before us, and I think we went further around and around in circles on the one last month. I think this was presented very clean, cut and dry, with all the documentation ahead of time. Any discussion items, or would anybody like to make a motion?
Can I just ask a question? We've seen quite a few of these. This seems like a more exhaustive list of like entities that they've gotten releases from than what we've seen before.
What they have to do.
Well, we've approved other ones, so is there something different about this one?
Yeah, they have all of them.
So
No.
have we approved some without everything or?
Some contingent on them getting the
Okay.
final missing release letters. But they are the public utility entities that are listed on the application to vacate,
Okay,
so.
okay, thanks, Tammy.
So, yeah, we can't move forward, and that's what I forgot, we did it contingent last time,
Yeah.
contingent on the others coming through, so.
Good.
So I'm glad someone's got a bit, good memory. Okay, any other discussion items, questions? Someone like to make a motion?
I do.
Okay, good.
First of all, thank you to staff and the petitioner for doing such a good job putting together a clean file. Makes our jobs really smooth. Really appreciate that. I'd like to motion to approve as presented by staff this evening to, for line item 2A, vacation of public utility easement, barring that there's no other conditions for engineering or anyone else. Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Dean to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Jeff. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So it's unanimous. And for the record, for the recorder, in attendance at this point is Manya, Jeff, Julie, Dean, Chad. Yeah. Sean, John, I knew that.
Welcome, John.
Geez. Well, I was like, you're sitting in the wrong spot. I thought, no, he's good. I was sitting there looking, yeah, you don't want to go to the spot where Sean's going. Yeah, we'd be sitting here for a while, because I don't do names. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll move to item 2B, the site plan amendment.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Consideration of a site plan amendment for an existing business for the addition of a storage facility on the property located at 2847 North Parkland Boulevard. We'll go ahead and have Tam start the presentation. We'll decide at that point, where do we want to go from there?
So we received an application for a site plan amendment for the Purple Sky Winery to add a storage building for wine storage. Through the review from DRC, the DRC staff, it was determined there were some items that we still needed to make some clarifications on, and some things that we're missing in order to complete the full review. And so communicated that back to the applicant, and their desire was to go ahead and mention to them that we would maybe need to be pulling it from the agenda. They expressed interest in keeping it on the agenda. With the items that are missing that we were not able to review, to give a full review of, the staff is recommending tabling the item.
So we'll throw that out to the commission. We can always deny it because it was not a full list when it comes to us. Could approve, but that doesn't make any sense because we don't have all the information and it just throws it back at staff. Or we could table it to move on. We could listen to all of the discussions and arguments, but most likely we're not going to move forward without the rest of the information. And I personally would like to hear from staff. So we can open that for discussion, make a motion and move, or we could actually use the petitioner here tonight. We could have the petitioner come up and also discuss how they would like to move forward. So thoughts?
Motion for the petitioner to speak.
Okay, so can we have the petitioner come and state your name and address? And maybe give us an update of where you're at in this process and.
My name is James Keller, construction general contractor on this project. Normally we have Jason sign or take care of this, but he was unable to make it, so he asked me to fill in. What we're asking on this, the reason we wanted to keep it on the table tonight is what I understand the problem we have is that the biggest key item is that you didn't have a utility plan and a drainage plan. Those are the two missing key items.
Those were the two biggest items, I believe, that our engineer was wanting to have and that we need to have.
So what we were hoping, we've done like in other cities, is that really a key for this meeting? Is that really a key thing to have, you know, for planning commission approval? I mean, we just don't wanna, you know, go to the expense of having full civil engineered plans drawn until we know that we could have a, you know, preliminary approval that this project's gonna be able to fly down there. You know, to have to go to the expense of having elevations and the whole civil set drawn, just kind of wonder if there's any possible way that we could convince the commission to just let us have their preliminary approval upon the contingencies and all that's done and still go through full, you know, plan review. So we, you know, like we've done everything else down there, we have no problem doing anything to your highest standard. But
I guess the question I would come back, do you see our point from my standpoint? You know, we like to have everything proper before it comes to us because we've seen the engineers and, you know, staff reports and they've had a chance to really look into it. We're excited for the company that's out there right now. We want to see them grow. If we've had people come and want to meet with us preliminarily, say, does this look proper? I mean, it looks like something that would fit in the area. So that's my opinion. I think that's, you know, hey, this is probably something that's gonna pass, given we have everything reviewed by the staff. And so I guess
yeah, there's, you know,
that's not, and I'm just one person up here. And so that's what my
Yeah.
thoughts are.
I'd like to speak in his behalf. So what he's presenting and what he's requesting does make a lot of sense because he could lay out a whole bunch of time and money for something that has to be adjusted and moved. But if we were to give a conditional approval, as long as the requirements are met, we can do that. We can recommend approval upon with the contingencies that he's got to check those boxes, and then he can work with his engineering.
But from a
group.
timing standpoint, shouldn't they have that all done before they come? Because, you know,
Not necessarily because of cost. So
wait.
if he,
That's what I was gonna ask, but how does that cost prohibitive? Because he'd still have to have it to staff. And have
Because-
them review it before it comes to us, or.
look at it this
If we
way.
approve it based on, he still has to spend.
If this is his building and this is his retention pond and this is his building, could I do something like this on this lot is what he wants to know before he pays somebody thousands of dollars to do that sketch.
But we're not gonna do that, right?
well, so here's,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt you.
No, but that's what we're open.
But we've already we've gone through, that's why the owners have asked us to present this to you, because if you remember back, we tried to push in a greenhouse across the street from the
Mhm.
and went through the whole process, went through all this, had plans drawn, put a great expense in that, and then we couldn't get the well permit, or we went through a bunch of different avenues trying to get the water that we needed to make that work, and couldn't make it work, couldn't get You know,
Yeah.
could get what we needed out of Buena Vista and could get what we need out of the well, even drill a well, make it work. And so all that time we spent in planning and
Yeah.
engineering was just a waste of money, so.
Yeah, I understand what he's doing and why, and I understand staff and your position. But he's just saying, hey, this is the area, this is what we would like to do. I understand I've got a bunch of engineering requirements and stuff I'm gonna have to meet before I have anything approved. But he doesn't want to spend all of that money on the maybe it's not even gonna get approved, which makes sense. I've fought this fight with Ogden City, so.
Chair,
You-
Chair, can I speak?
What's that?
I said, I was asking Chair if I could speak.
Yes, please.
The problem is that we don't give preliminary approvals.
Mhm.
When you grant the approval, you are granting the final approval of this site plan. Are
Right.
you willing to do this for every site plan that comes in?
Technically, we should, yes, because it's still got to
If
meet
you
all the
want-
requirements.
Your job is to make sure that it is meeting all of the requirements in order to approve it.
Not necessarily, because like we just barely talked about the fallow way ones, we did an approval that was contingent, right?
But
And
they
so-
have more than just a letter from a.
But we can approve
Utility
a site
provider.
plan
You can-
contingent
you
on the
can approve it
engineering.
Contingent on anything, but are you willing to take that risk with everyone? Are you willing to make sure that staff has to take the time to make sure that they have complied with everything along the way? We do have DRC meetings. We meet with developers, we meet with
Mm.
companies or contractors to make sure we are doing those meetings to tell them that this is feasible. Then we are asking them to meet those requirements before they come to you for the final approval.
So they already know that it's potentially approved if the engineering requirements are met then.
As long as they address all the issues that are raised by staff
Okay.
before it gets to
And,
you.
we've had developers come before and say, here's something, you just be on the agenda, here's something we're looking at, is this something you guys would entertain? And I'm like,
Mm.
yeah, I like that, and others, I'm like, I don't like it, but you have a right to come and present it, right?
Yeah,
So,
And in all,
I'm
honesty, in our
listening to what-
DRC meetings, we are not afraid to tell people that's not gonna fly there.
perfect.
So when we meet with a developer or a contractor, we're not just feeding them a line.
Right.
We're looking at it as if it's feasible or not.
I've had the opposite with the other cities though,
Right.
so that's good to hear that
Right.
you're doing things differently.
We went to the DRC is because we were having so many builders saying, you know, we don't want to put all this expense and time and then come and find out that's not feasible.
Yeah.
So that's what the DRC is doing.
Right.
It's almost circumventing the DRC and going around that in a way to get.
and I think none of us claim to be, you know, specific experts, engineers, or, you know, not any of these criteria. That's what the DRC's takes advantage of, is pre-inspecting a lot of these type of steps, I guess.
Okay.
Can we endorse something and not fully approve it until later? Can we endorse a concept?
We can give our opinion.
I mean, does that,
My opinion of him as me, as one body member,
Yeah.
I like what he's
I mean,
doing
it's
out
not,
there. I
yeah.
think it's a good fit. But until I see that it's passed, I'm not gonna vote to accept it. That's just my,
Yeah.
I see where you're going with that. Bo.
Yeah, it just, I mean, we've spent tens of thousands of dollars trying to get,
But wouldn't they have to anyway to get through the DRC? anyway?
it depends on how the staff handles it. And I'm just speaking from his frustration because I know what he's thinking and I've been through it. And so I didn't understand that you do things differently here.
Yeah, we do. In
Because-
fact, we had someone come in with a housing development that backed out of their land purchase because we said that's just not gonna work there. We
Perfect,
tried several different things with them on
Yeah.
like concept plans before they went to full engineering.
right.
And they ended up cutting the deal because it just wasn't gonna work out for them.
So as a general contractor, you're aware that you're basically approved by staff if you meet all of the requirements that they've given you, correct?
What we are now, this is a little bit different than most other cities
Uh-huh.
I've worked in, and so that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And it did bite us here one other time,
Mhm.
you know, the initial building went through pretty good with that greenhouse that we put across the other street. I think we lost a good chunk of money out engineering on that one.
Well, and I don't believe that the city ever said that the greenhouse wasn't feasible. You know, I mean, you ran into issues with water. It wasn't the city told you you could do it and then. Right, but no, and I'm just saying,
Yeah,
you know, we
It would've been
we
awesome.
didn't,
By the time we found that out, if we hadn't already, you know, to try to get it through to see, okay, well, it's gonna work here with you guys, gonna work with you guys, we'll go down, and then the next thing we get there and find out that, anyway.
Yeah.
That, yeah.
Some of that
I'm
could
not-
have been
I'm not trying to-
preliminary.
but I hope
No,
you guys-
no, and I don't think that you are. I just wanted to point out that like, we didn't yank that away from you. So
I-
you should have trust in us that, but
Oh,
we're
yeah,
not, we're
and
not telling you.
It's nothing on your behalf, you guys do that, I'm just saying. It's probably more on
Yeah,
our
and-
end of it, but,
And,
just
and,
trying to-
and I'm gonna pull this back and just say, you know, to me, this is a strong vote of confidence in the staff that we start working with the DRC. You know, and I think it's probably a program thing to say, well, I'm only gonna spend this much until I know that we've cleared through this, or we checked our waters, you know, and we will have all of that before I spend my money in the engineering drawings or et cetera, just to make sure that, you know, step by step, how far do I go without? So my personal preference is we probably would table it at this time, allowing the petitioner to work with the staff, get, you know, what are the bare minimums, maybe it's step by step, say, I'll take it this far, make sure you guys are good, take it this far, make sure you guys are good.
Well, and that's what we
And-
hope, because I mean, we've got a pretty decent
Yeah,
site plan
yeah.
right
And-
now to look at, so I mean, the rest of it's just, okay, detention fine issues and stuff that Dana can.
You know, and preliminary from our standpoint, I mean, I'm speaking as one person, I like the site plan, I like what we're looking at, I think it's a good fit for the area.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't dug through all the details. Any
I'm
other
just-
questions for the petitioner?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask, do you have the water you need for the shed?
We do.
Just wanted to make sure, so.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's a little tricky down there with the landscaping and everything, you know. they get
Yeah.
Match with those guys, but with
Yeah.
that side, we're good on that, but.
Right. Well, we certainly don't want to hinder your progress or delay things, but we also want to follow our guidelines. So what we'd like to do, I think, what I'm hearing is if we table it, then that keeps your momentum going. If we were to reject it or deny it, then it's kind of a start over situation. So
Okay, so.
what I would suggest is we
Help
table
work.
it.
This time I have Jason do this one, but if we, also, if we table it tonight and then he comes back and gets you everything that you need on those, it was just the two site, or it was just the,
There's 4 items that are
Five, yeah.
specific, 4 or 5 items that are specifically held on.
Things
Hmm.
that we missed.
Yeah, and no grading, no
Clarification
utility
on
plan
the-
provided, detention and
loading
LID,
dock.
loading docks, and a third driveway.
Really, we do understand your concern, and it's a big concern that other builders had before you. And because that has been a problem, and it's a very understandable issue of not wanting to put a lot of money into something before it's approved, that we did go to the DRC process so that builders can go to them and give an assurance that if all of these qualifications are met, then you have a level
A
of
green light.
assurance that when it does go to planning commission, that.
so this really would be our last meeting in front of the commission.
Now, what we'll do is,
Not when we
if we
table it.
decide to table it, that means it's still open on our table.
I just thought about
The DRC and,
going down.
yeah, the DRC, you'll jump with them, finish through those, then when it's proposed to us. Because this actually speeds it up for you, because if it's gone through them, then it's gonna be a lot cleaner up here.
Yeah.
We've had some, like Julie says, that have come and we're like, well, I don't know, I'm not an engineer, I'm not gonna pass that. We send it back to the engineer and then they gotta go again. Then it comes, we find one more thing, then it, you know, just keeps back and forth. So this we found has made it a much cleaner process. If it's taken care of over there, they're gonna make a recommendation, we like it, move forward. So
Yeah.
it can save several months of back and forth. And so that's why we
Yeah.
did it, was to streamline it.
So 30 days from now, we have another meeting, we can.
First Thursday of every month, yeah.
Okay, so-
January's gonna be the seventh Thursday. the
Or
first-
I was
second
gonna ask that
Thursday.
tonight.
My apologies.
So it'll be the 8th of January.
Okay. Well, that's, yeah, I was,
Okay,
anyway, I just thought it was worth a shot and talk to you before we got put back on the 30 days.
No, I think it was good because had not, we could have just rejected it. So it was good that you're here because it did keep your momentum going, keeps you on the docket and keeps you moving. So that was,
And you do have,
it-
Jason has the list of the things that we were missing or that we wanted to have clarification on, so.
Well, I'll just, yeah, I appreciate you walking me through that, so I can give him the go ahead and finish up all the plans, but I just kind of the last one, and yeah, I've got a client that's telling me just pump the brakes a little bit, let's make sure we're not
Sure.
just throwing money.
Not to set the bar too high, but the very first item tonight set a new record for approvals for having everything done. We went from a pledge allegiance to approval in 6 minutes, which is impressive.
We don't have to throw that out. We
No,
are being recorded
No,
on record.
Yeah, so they just, they
with-
checked all the boxes and brought it with staff approval. It makes our job really smooth.
With the discussion from the petitioner and from staff, it sounds like we'd like to make a motion to table. Do we have someone that would like to make a motion that direction, or how would like to proceed?
I'll motion that we table item 2A, no, 2B,
2B.
sorry, site plan amendment.
Okay, we've got a motion by Chad to table the action tonight for a future item. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have Dean that has second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Keep working. on
Yeah,
this.
thank you.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move to a legislative item, public hearing tonight for a rezone, consideration of a rezone for approximately 1.03 acres of land located at 615 Fox Meadow Drive from CP1 to CP2. We'll go ahead and ask Tammy if she'll present the information tonight.
Okay, so this is an application to rezone on the corner of 600 West and 2700 North. Right now, it's on the northwest corner there. And right now, it is currently zoned, it's kind of split zoned. There's two parcels. And the parcel on the north is CP1, parcel on the south is CP2. The petitioner is asking to have the north parcel rezoned to CP2. So for, which is commercial use, the hope is that they will be able to use one of the conditional uses that are allowed, well, uses that are allowed as conditional in CP2 for that corner. They're anticipating putting in an animal hospital. That would, it matches the general plan, being that it's, you know, continuing to keep that as commercial space. It'll also match the zoning on the property to the east of 600 North or 600 West. Kind of just cleans up that area. They also are going to be, they're purchasing both of those pieces of property there on that corner, and we'll be doing a subdivision process to, right now the, I can just pull up the map
As I
here.
say, pull up the map so we can show everybody what it is.
It's kind of strict, but it just has a little sliver. So this sliver here is the CP2 and this is CP1. And they're purchasing both and doing a subdivision process to create one lot and clean that up so that they can have, so the property line will be down here with 2700 splitting it. So that application will be coming later. Right now, we're just doing the rezone.
And just a couple things from this area. Let's see, when this all area was put in, this was kept as a commercial. If you remember right, we went ahead and turned this over a few months ago back to the residential. The thought was these were at the time 2 different owners, and the hope, someone tried to propose that we force them to get together. We said, no, somewhere down the road, hopefully someone will combine the areas and make this large enough. Like she said, this is CP2 right now, this is CP1. So,
And east of the 600 West is also CP.
this is also CP2 over here, so.
Do we know why the one parcel was put as CP1?
Because it was attached to the piece south of 2700 North before 2700 North went through. So that's why there's a
Yeah,
wedge,
this
is
is
because
a block.
2700 North, yeah.
So, but why is that one CP1 and everything else is CP2? I'm not. maybe I'm
I
not
think
catching
this
that.
was CP1, this whole thing, and they
Oh.
turned over the road, this into that, and we kept this as a CP1.
Yeah.
Okay,
When, because we asked that this being a light area, we wanted this to be a commercial,
Yeah.
this becomes a commercial, so when this was approved, there was quite a lot of upheaval in the city when that got approved, and one of the conditions was that we kept corner commercial.
Yeah.
Rather than that corridor, because we were trying to keep the whole corridor
Yeah.
available for that. Julie, did I summarize that fairly good?
I've got a question on the vet clinic, basically. Is it a small animal or a large animal? Because if it's large animals, then you're looking at horses, et cetera, next to a subdivision.
Yeah.
Which could be.
My understanding is that it's a small animal hospital, and we have the petitioner here when we're ready that, sorry.
Give us a minute. We'll get there.
I want to let them talk as much as.
My only concern would be, with large animals, yeah.
Yeah, bigger poops. Hmm.
So I'm gonna piggyback on that. I was gonna bring that up in just a minute, but I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback. I hope everybody had a chance, and I really appreciate staff providing the different CP1, 2, and 3. The only thing as we look into this, as we ask the questions from the petitioner, they may come and say, this is what we would like to do. We recommend the approval of this. Just remember, if we change it from CP1 to CP2, anything on there now becomes permissible. So I did a little highlighting, one of them that the animal hospital, small animals only is, not allowed in CP1, but is in conditional CP2.
Yeah.
So they'll have to come back. But there's a few. Right, but what I want to point out are there's some other things like it's not allowed in CP1, but it'll be conditional in CP2 is used car lots. That could be. So if they decide, oh, well, we're not going to do the animal, but we've already approved, just remember it can come in, now it can be a used car lot, it can be a welding shop, it can be, storage units. It can be outdoor theater, tobacco. Now, some things won't fit there, but a tobacco shop can now fit there. So there's things that if we change it, just be aware that if they could change it, we think we might put an animal hospital there, but we're then opening up to whatever else might fit. So we just got to keep that in mind. Okay, any other questions for staff? We'll ask the petitioner to come up, state name and address for the record, and maybe give us a little explanation of what you're thinking for this area.
Hi, my name is Dan Harris. I'm with Aiken Forest Services. The address is 1695 12 Mile Road, 100 Berkeley, Michigan. Appreciate all of your time tonight to discuss this project. This is our first step in moving towards the vet clinic project. So, like I said, first step is this rezone because we can move anywhere without it. As you all have noted, the CP1 zoning does not allow vet clinics to be built. So there was a couple of different ways that we were thinking about going with the rezone. We thought about doing a rezone to the CP3 because that's a by right for an animal clinic. However, we figured that's probably too extreme. And kind of alludes exactly to what you were saying. If for some reason our development didn't go through, you would now be stuck with the CP3 zoning, which is a much higher use. So we thought CP2 would be the correct way to go. As you mentioned, there's a lot of CP2 zoning around this area. The lot directly to the south is also zoned CP2. We figured that in the future, when we go to combine these lots, that would also help facilitate that lot combination. So to kind of give a quick outline of the entire project, might not be quite the right time for that, but just to kind of be transparent with you all. So our first step here, like I said, is the rezoning process. Our second step will be through the, if we get receive our approval, we'll then go through the CUP and site plan review along with a lot subdivision process. So the lot subdivision would be formally separating, if I can just point, the lot south of 2700 north from this sliver, the sliver lot to the north. We need to do that before we can, combine the lots, because we need to be able to close on the property, and if we combine the lots beforehand, then that southern parcel is gone, and we can't do that to the, current sellers. So, after we receive a CUP approval and the lot split, we can then close on this property, both these properties, and then go through a lot combination process to combine what is currently CP one.
So you'd buy this entire piece and then split it off, or are you just gonna
No.
subdivide it out? So it's two separate pieces?
Correct, we'll subdivide this portion from this portion, currently these are the same lots.
Yep,
The same
yep,
parcel
so
ID.
you'll separate them out and then combine them,
And then we'll combine this portion here,
right?
and it'll all be zone CP two. Plus we have the conditional use already in hand, so that way we can, move forward with that clinic. So that's our entire game plan here, and kind of what we need to do. Tammy's been excellent in discussing, you know, how we need to navigate the situation. But if there's any questions particular to the vet clinic.
Just
we'll-
out of curiosity, because this is not, we're not doing site plans or anything, but
Yep.
you've, I'm sure, done some pencil paper sketching to make sure that it'll fit the size that
Yes.
you're requiring there, knowing our regulations for parking and building size and setbacks, et cetera.
Yeah, actually, I think I've sent Tammy a concept plan, previously. I'm not sure if you have that, Tammy, but,
That's fine, because I don't, it's not required for tonight, so, but,
right, I
but-
didn't want to muddy the
but it
waters
does
with
fit in,
this.
it does fit into the model, so.
Yes, and that, I was hoping that the site plan, I wanted to bring that up too, just to give you guys confidence that, you know, we are looking to build this vet clinic. To be honest, if we get denied at the CUP for the vet clinic, then the deal's over.
Right.
So I hope that instills some confidence.
Do you have a vet already who is wanting this built?
We do.
Then, okay.
Yeah. So we have a floor plan that Danny can show. It's on the site or concept plan that we have. So we have that part already ready to go. We'd like to get the rezoning first before we go through the CUP and site plan process. Somewhat similar to what the last
Save money first.
exactly. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves
Right.
quickly here.
I have a question about the kind of the nature of this animal hospital. Would it be considered like 24/7 type of operation where animals are held overnight?
So they do offer surgery services. So the only time that an animal will be held overnight is for close observation. But they don't do boarding. And the two big items for vet clinics and animal hospitals are boarding and cremation. So our tenant does not do boarding and they do not do cremation. So that will help to lessen the impact to the surrounding resident area.
Will you
that
answer her question about that?
It is it is a small animal, dogs, cats, household pets.
But my concern also was on the boarding part. I was going to ask about that. But you know, when we change the.
Yeah.
Once again. additional-
Well, and the conditional definition is animal hospital, small animals only, and provided is conducted within completely enclosed buildings. So those are the things, when we make that, we specify that in the condition of approval, when it comes back for that, right? Well,
Okay, this is the concept that they provided.
So plenty of parking, actually, probably shouldn't say this, but we'd probably be looking to remove some of this parking. It's
So-
got a lot of parking in it.
This
one
is-
other- go ahead, sorry.
This is kind of amazing that it's presented this way because your structure is actually on the CP2, which doesn't require any changes, and your parking lot's on the CP1. Is there a reason why we need to change?
I was under the impression that because the entire area is being used for a vet clinic, that
So
it
it'll be
would
all
need
one
to
lot.
be.
So it
And
has
we
to
also
be
want it
changed?
all to be on one lot, that is the other. portion.
It has to be changed, so the parking lot's CP2 as well?
They split
Well,
some
if he splits that off from the other lot and combines it into one lot, then the lot has to
If he
either be
combines
one.
it into one lot,
Right,
yes,
it
but
has to
for
be
his
one or the other.
purposes, he wouldn't, he could build it the way it sits in that drawing. Cause it's already CP2.
Interesting concept.
Which was what I was gonna ask, and then that popped up, and I was like, well, it's already done. It does present an issue with the tax IDs. He would have to have a separate tax ID
Yeah.
because of the way it is with the piece on the south, but it was just a question. So,
I guess I was under the impression that we needed to, just because it's accessible
Yeah.
to the use, but.
Yeah, I think that's what it,
So
I can see the tax.
The logic.
ID.
yeah,
That's what's, a lot of times you end up more taxes on two separate entities than if it's one.
yeah, I don't know that the access will be able to come off of 600
That's
West
what we were just
either.
talking
yeah, I was gonna
about.
say that's one of the items in the,
And that's one of the things that we discussed in our,
Mhm.
in our meeting with DRC.
Yeah.
Is whether the access would have to come off of.
because I think it's actually spells it out that it cannot come off of 2,700 or 600 in the staff
Yeah.
report, in the definition. So. uh,
I have another question. So in some of the language that we have here under, in the packet for 18.31.010, it says that if required, submission of a market analysis to serve as a guide for the planning commission in evaluation can be requested. And I guess one of the thoughts that's coming to my mind is maybe a concern that was brought up of kind of a bait and switch. Well, we get a vet, facility approved, but then it's like, the market doesn't really need another vet hospital. And so we're gonna turn that into a bowling alley or something. Have you guys done some market research? Do you have that you could present to the city so that we know kind of the demand that is? I mean, I assume there's gotta be some substance behind this decision that you're kind of
Yes.
going through.
So I don't have the market research with me particularly.
Yeah.
But, we have an acquisitions team that kind of finds sites and creates a plan for the tenant
Mhm.
of where they should build. I can tell you that this intersection here has been highly desirable by us. So we looked at not only this site, but we actually started on the northeast side of this intersection. That development and owner was, I'm not really sure what was going on there, but it really wasn't moving forward. We looked at the southeast corner, that started to kind of wobble as well, so now we're over at this northwest corner. So I can at least tell you that the intersection has been a top choice in putting this back.
Do you know if you said your acquisition team or whoever, do they look at like population sizes and then like kind of a average number of pets compared to the number of other hospitals that are in the
So they'll look at
area?
more of the single family homes,
Okay.
because that's typically the clientele that owns small animals versus dense multi-housing. They look at thoroughfares to see the amount of cars that come by that can justify and support a vet clinic here. Yes, one other question.
Well, I guess you see my question comes to like the viability, that this is a kind of a long-term sort of thing. And I
Mhm.
think where it kind of brings it out in some of our documents that we can look at some market analysis. I think for me personally, I think that would give me a little bit more confidence that this is a needed, business in the area and that it's going to be, here long-term, so that some of those concerns that we talked about earlier, I'm not, switch is probably not the right term, but just, oh, this isn't going to work, we're going to switch to this, so the city isn't kind of caught off guard with that.
And if I could add, I know we have our real estate broker here.
This might be a good spot for you. So I think just a few things to understand. First of all.
Do you give your name
Oh,
and
yeah, sorry, it's Tyler Jones. Anything else?
address is
Address,
usually?
okay, all right. I'm 1737 North Woodhouse Circle in front. So, we've done about 7 of these deals currently. This is specifically, it's not going to be anything but a vet clinic. This is specifically, these guys are the developers. There is a tenant who signed a long-term lease already. So this is not going to be anything else but a
It's a
vet
build
clinic.
to suit then.
It pretty much, I mean, you could look at it from that perspective, yeah, it's a build a suit. So we've had to get the zoning change in a few different places, and I think some of the concerns you've already brought up is there boarding, you know, do we have issues with large animals, things like that, and most of the time we've been able to get through that pretty easily because, yeah, I mean, this is also a clinic that's been established, they've got multiple locations. So, and we can get you more information specifically on that if you'd like it, but, yeah, this has been a frustrating situation just because we have been to several different parcels that we've been trying to go to, and there's been some issues with each of the different owners. But, yeah, as far as Pleasant View is concerned, I don't know exactly what the market analysis is, but I can tell you that, yeah, the growth pattern and the way that they look at putting these vet clinics in these areas, it's a really good opportunity for them to do it. So we can also get you a list of like about 6 of the other locations that we're putting these in. But if it was gonna be something else, we'd have a real problem because they've already signed a long-term, I think it's a 10 or 15 year.
Usually 15 years.
Yeah, 15-year lease. So there's not gonna be any bait and switch. They're not planning to do anything else here. These guys specifically work for the tenant. So if this tenant, if it doesn't work out for them, they wouldn't be here. So, and because of the fact that the lease has already been executed, that's what has to be performed at this point. So hopefully that helps a little bit with that part of it.
Any other questions for the petitioners? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Just for clarification, Tammy, we are a recommendation on this only tonight,
Right.
and we do need a public hearing, so would someone like to motion to open for public hearing?
Make the motion, open a public hearing
Jeff,
on legislative item 5A for the rezone. 1.303 acres at 615 Fox Meadow Drive.
Jess made a motion to open public hearing. Do we have a second? John, a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, we have a large audience that is very concerned with this parcel.
Yeah.
I think the larger audience showed up when there was across the street, worried about creating a parcel so they could offload it.
Have we had any emails, public comment?
So,
We have not.
Notice went out even to specific to that area, right?
No YouTubers upset, nothing?
There's signs posted on the property. We've had no comments, no contact from anyone.
Did I miss a staff recommendation on this one?
mhm.
Yeah, we kind of jumped into questions. Staff recommendation is to recommend approval. It cleans up that corner. It matches the zoning to the east. Which, no, to the east. No,
Yeah.
south is actually C2.
But what I like is, this is me talking. Let's go ahead. Is there anybody else from the audience that would like to address this tonight from the public? We'll make a motion, someone make a motion, to close. Julie's made a motion to close the public hearing. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Mania's second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now for discussion. I really like the fact, one, we're doing commercial, which was the whole purpose intent of keeping the 4 corners commercial, because we'll have lots of traffic. When we were questioning years ago, what could even go there, thoughts were dentist office, doctor's offices, small business type of things were brought up. I think this fits the mold. I really like and appreciate the fact that combining the 2 owners together and using that was one of the big concerns a few years back. That will clean up the corner. I think that makes for a nicer corner. We just gotta make sure we have plenty of setback, whatever it needs to be, but I really like the way that, you know, this is an entrance way to our city. And I like the way that we clean up the corner in that area. Just my thoughts. Any thoughts?
Yeah, when the whole family gets COVID, you can throw pet out here and then drive across the street to the clinic and get everybody else
It's gonna be a
service.
medical corner. So now
Yeah.
we need a dentist office on the other end. And
Yeah,
so,
no sales tax. Can we put a food truck court in that triangle piece?
I'm not opposed to that. I still like that idea. John, any comments, thoughts, questions? No, good idea, pulling them together and yeah.
Yeah,
Or agree with what you said about it, and clean up with the corner.
yeah.
Chad?
I echo those comments. I guess I think if I'm a business owner, I would definitely want the demand data. So that's not my role and responsibility, but I'd want to know that there's high demand for this type of service. And I think that just goes to my point of our list, you know, of are we okay with, I'm just looking at some of these that are on there. I mean, it could be 15 years down the road, but are we okay with, you know, something like a bowling alley,
Yeah, we've already got one
miniature golf?
across the street. Have that too.
Yeah. And I guess, and I guess I'm thinking of just the proximity to the, you know,
To the home?
I think
which-
this fits.
I
think
just
this
do,
fits,
and I
but-
thought, well, we'd be careful not putting the CP2, because I'm the one that says,
Yeah.
what, look at that, someone taught me that many years ago, look and see, because you could end up with those. I'm thinking, well, these people aren't here tonight, so they didn't speak up, so they must not care of paying that CP2, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because we've had, in other areas where we were trying to go from CP1 to CP2, the houses were packed. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
right below.
Torches and pitchforks and the whole thing.
Yeah,
It was
just
amazing.
Jacob's Mill down by the church and across the street, they were, I said,
Mhm.
okay, you'd rather have this, and they're like, we would rather have that than this, right? So.
Yeah.
It's just interesting what brings people out or not, so.
And I think with the 15-year lease they brought up, I think that kind of deviates some of the.
I like the fact future build out, because they could always build it out for veterinary, or they could build other items out too, so.
Yeah.
Vanya, questions, thoughts?
No,
items?
I agree with what's been said. I like it. I think that would be great right there. Sure.
And we shut down the streets to come see it.
We have circus on here as another one. I think you have to be CP3 for a circus.
No.
We'll come back later.
Jeff, anything?
I like how it cleans up, it makes it consistent on all four corners yeah, I think it's a big, great fit, other than the guy that owns the other, vet clinic lives right across the street, he might be mad. Jeff Stoker. I think he retired, actually.
Julie?
A little concern over like the lighting for a business and making sure that the lighting that could really affect the home next to it.
And I think lighting is addressed under the conditional use, that's, yeah. Just like, you know, that's what I was gonna point out, the 18.31.090. Part of it says is there will be no access on 227 north or 600 west, so I think this is spelled out really pretty good. And it'll give you a good guideline of how do you wanna proceed if you wanna proceed with it, so.
So if it can be done and be a good neighbor, knowing that you are next to a subdivision.
I know that there's a specific buffer, but we see that.
Yeah, it looks like there's a pretty good green space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty confident in being conscious of the fact that there's living.
Super fun.
Okay, if there's no other discussion items, do we have someone we can approve, we can recommend approval? We can recommend denial, or we can table it if we think that we need more information.
I'll make a motion, we recommend approval to the city council, item 5A for the rezone of, 615 Fox Meadow Drive.
Okay, we have a motion, Jeff, to recommend approval. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Dean. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate that.
Thanks, guys.
We're anxious to see you back again so we can look at that.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Dan flew in from Michigan
Wow.
So
We can hold this a little longer if you'd like. Make it worth your while, but we
Yeah.
try to keep things moving along fairly well. We're trying to work
Doing
with
great.
people.
so we appreciate you coming in.
So,
For the next step, as far as city council, we'll still go for a city council next, correct?
Yes,
And that be.
it would be in January.
So we see him
The
again for
13th,
the site plan?
January 13th would be.
Yep.
Yeah, well, city council's the second and fourth
Oh, okay.
Tuesday,
That's something.
Great,
so,
then I'm sure we'll be.
okay,
order.
thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
okay, before we adjourn, just to cover a few items, I was gonna bring up the January 8th will be the meeting next month. So if you'll all just kind of keep that on your calendar and watch for, maybe we'll get a reminder just before then. So we can keep everybody on the docket for that.
And we'll have the proposed dates for the rest of next year
Great.
at that January meeting.
And I failed to start out with it, but I do want to tell staff, thank you very much for our little get together. It's always fun to get away from up here and go downstairs and visit a little bit and get to know people a little bit more away from, just makes me jealous, the trips Dean takes and that Dave takes, and just makes me put it on my bucket list of things to go see. So, but I appreciate staff's work on that, and it
Yeah.
helps hold this group together. So we have Sarah in the audience from our community. Is there anything that you want to recommend or tell us, or hi or bye or congratulations, and what are we building, anything new coming down the pipeline that we should be aware of? It's kind of a quiet month. A lot of things coming. That's going to be exciting. So we're glad to be part of that. Staff, anything that tonight that we need to cover?
I don't think so. We will be replacing one of the commissioners that was elected to city council, so if anybody has any recommendations or names that they want to suggest that we could put forward to the mayor for consideration.
One of my neighbors put in an application like a year ago,
Okay,
David Clark, and he was on a commission up in Logan when they went up in Logan. Anyway,
okay,
I know he was interested. He's asked me a couple of times, like, I haven't heard anything, so I don't know whether his application is still in or if it's.
I'll look and see if I can find it.
They didn't hold it against him because they're neighbors.
Yeah, we just are hoping to get somebody else that's great and be a great addition to the planning commission, so.
Right.
I don't know if it's a recommendation or an ask, but Dave has been an alternate for a long time. If there's a step that if there's a step in looking as a, take the alternate off of Dave, that would be nice.
And that could be, but all that's up to them.
It's not here.
Yeah, that's not this
It's the
group.
mayor.
Well, that's the mayor recommend it, and then it's the city council that has to approve it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so,
so.
yeah, that's gone a whole lot of different ways, so that'll be a new mayor. We'll see what he says.
I understand.
Right, and then you an alternate at that point, so.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
need names. And I will also need to be replaced. Coming up.
We're not letting you leave.
Yeah.
So,
Just
We've
commute,
canceled it.
deal with it.
Anybody that you're trying to sell that house to, we're gonna say, oh, did you see the water leaks? Did you see?
Yeah.
Want to buy that?
Wait, I think in February is when it comes up, the vote for vice chair and chairman.
Yeah.
January,
I think
February,
it's-
I'm saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's just the beginning of the year.
yeah.
I think last year we did it in February, but
Okay. So that would probably give it a good time to look at a switch. Definitely, I want to be vice chair.
Okay, with that sad news, we will go ahead and take a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And all approved. Thank you.